أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. In regards to the incidents taking place in Palestine, we find it our obligation to stand in support of the truth and to mention a few points that may be beneficial for those who are interested in this topic. I will mention 5 points briefly in this recording, and if needed, inshallah, we can record more in the future. First point, Zionism and big lie. A big lie is a political propaganda technique used by many groups in history in order to show something as truth, although it has no truthfulness to it. They lie regarding a topic, a story, or an incident to an extent where people would doubt that someone would lie about such a story. This is something that was used in this war by the Zionist regime. At the beginning of the incidents in Palestine, the Zionist regime spread the story of Palestinians killing 40 children and raping women. This made all the Western politicians and even celebrities to rush in showing support to the Zionist regime and portraying Palestinians as terrorists. It didn't take long for this story to be exposed as a lie, because social media is not controlled by them today. People have the freedom to go and spread news on their social media, and they were able to show that this story is a lie. Nevertheless, although it was exposed as a lie, but we didn't find any change in the stance that was taken by the politicians in the West, or even by many of the celebrities. Most of the people in the West are victims of the lies of the politicians and the Zionist regime. They continue to lie and make you follow like a sheep with no clear vision. We as Muslims extend a hand of salvation for the Western public. If you want to learn the truth about what's happening in Palestine, and if you want to learn the truth about Islam, then come and listen and be the judge. It is the time for us to stop following blindly those who are spreading evilness from their dark offices. It is time for us to think and reflect on what's happening. Don't be quick to believe everything you hear on the news. Second point, the hypocrisy of Western politics. Since the establishment of the illegal Zionist regime, hundreds of thousands of crimes have been committed by this regime against the Palestinians and Lebanese people. Yet, we never saw any firm stance taken by the Western politicians against this regime, nor did they classify it as a terrorist regime. While when Palestinians stand to defend their land and to defend their rights, they are quickly classified as terrorists. This is nothing but clear hypocrisy. And this is the reason why we cannot trust or support any Western government when it comes to the foreign affairs. Third point, the Zionist regime is a cancer in the body of the nation. Let's mention a small story. David is a newborn Jewish baby from two beautiful couples in New York, while Ahmed is an 80-year-old grandfather that lived and was raised in Palestine by Palestinian people. Would you believe if I say to you that David, that was born today in New York from two Jewish beautiful couple, have more rights in Palestine than Ahmad, that lived all his life there? And would you believe me if I say to you that David can grow up one day and go and kick Ahmad out of his house and have more rights in the land of Palestine? This has been happening since the establishment of this regime. If you are Jewish, even if you come from another planet, you have more rights in Palestine than Palestinians themselves. Why? Because it is our homeland, and I quote, or it is the land that God gave to us, and also I quote. This is racist regime that exists. Do you think there is any chance for Palestinians to live side by side with it? This is why our stance should be clear. When we call for the freedom of Palestine, we call for the freedom of all the lands of Palestine. Free Palestine means to free all the lands and to remove the cancer from the body of the nation. Fourth point, we respect all religions. It should be clear from a jurisprudential political perspective, we would never accept the Zionist regime. And we consider it to be religiously forbidden to have any interaction with such a regime. However, we respect all Abrahamic religions and consider them in their revelation form as divine and blessed religions. We cannot be Muslims if we do not accept Judaism and Christianity in its revelation form, in the way that it was revealed. In fact, we share a lot of common principles with Judaism than any other religion. When it comes to theology and the oneness of God, there are a lot of common principles between us and Judaism. When it comes to jurisprudence, we have a lot of common principles, how to eat, and so on, or what to eat, and so on. We share a lot of principles with them. So our problem is not with Judaism as a religion. And even with the religious texts that are mentioned in the Quran or in some narrations, perhaps they can be understood or limited to the historical context that they were mentioned in. And therefore, we do not generalize the view or the negative view against Jews to all times and places. We have no problem with Judaism as a religion. Our problem is with Zionism. Zionism as in the political party, as in the regime and its allies. This is where our problem is. And it's not with Judaism as a religion. Now, some Western governments recently, after the incidents that happened in Palestine, they have been in contact with Muslims communities in their countries, trying to prevent any problem from Muslims against Jews. And we can understand this. However, I say to them, if you want to protect the Jews, you should look at the white extremist groups and not as Muslims. The main fear, unfortunately, for Jews in the West, in the near future, will be from the white extremist groups that have been brainwashing their followers against others and especially against Jews. Fifth point. I say in the fifth point, where are our speakers? It is a shame to see the silence of the main Islamic English speakers that are considered as celebrities in their communities regarding what's happening in Palestine today. You talk day and night about so many topics, but when it comes to the main affairs of the Ummah, you go quiet and we don't hear from you at all. I sincerely and humbly call on them to take a clear stance in support of the Palestinian cause against the Zionist regime. Some people have doubts about the continuous silence that you take in front of the affairs of our ummah. They believe that you are the new neo-American British agents in our communities. I don't want to accept that, and I don't want to believe in that. This is why I call on you today to stand and take a brave stance in showing support to the Palestinian cause. Prove to us that you are loyal to Islam, that you are loyal to the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Prove to us that you are loyal to the path of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in standing with the oppressed against the oppressors. This is the message of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. I know some of you are scared, and I know some of you have been brainwashed to take a negative stance against the Palestinian cause. This is the time for you to reconsider your thoughts. Prove to us that you are loyal to this path, that you are loyal to Islam, and that you are loyal to spreading the truth and supporting the truth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His victory to our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And inshallah, with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will celebrate during our time the full liberation of Palestine from all evil. هذا وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.